Welcome to the Victory Project podcast, undoing hopelessness with a godly purpose, love, and accountability. Since 2009, we've believed it's less about what we do and more about what we undo through education, entrepreneurship, and enlightenment. You're here because you believe a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Let's shine that light. Let's build victory together.
Welcome to the Victory Project podcast. We are in episode 8, which is awesome. So excited to have that's 2 months of content. And we picked up a new country, by the way, Belgium. Some folks in Belgium are listening. So you guys have any family in Belgium that is following you guys? Because that's pretty cool. I'm surprised, but we're just grateful that folks are listening and learning about Victory Project and how God's blessing us. And today's episode will be really fun. Enjoyable to talk about. There's a lot of cool things to cover today. But first, as normal, so folks know who's in the room. My name is Monnie Bush, founder and CEO of the Victory Project. And I am sitting across from the high school campus senior program director, Keyshawn. How are you doing?
Great. Can't complain.
Do you have any energy after several days of camping?
Probably negative energy. I've been in a cabin next to Caden, and half the guys forgot deodorant. So,
oh my gosh!
And the bathroom was a small space as well. So,
wow,
all my clothes need to get washed.
I bet.
I actually had 2 packs of deodorant. Thank you.
They didn't.
That's
work.
Good.
Sounds like you didn't have enough.
Yeah, I need more. And speaking of Caden, how was the trip? What's some of the things you guys got to do?
We went zip lining, hide and go seek, bonfires, a bunch of stuff.
Awesome.
Obstacle courses, swimming.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Mr. Keyshawn doesn't know how to swim, so we had to keep him in the kiddie pool.
There's a theme developing on these podcasts. People are almost drowning on every episode. You got to work on that.
I found out he was a pretty good singer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's right. I heard about that.
The 3 blind mice.
And that's a reach back to the early days of VP. Well, man, it's great. Thank you guys for doing the camping. I know it's hard on staff, multiple days, but I know from listening to some of our alumni, it's these like little extra things that we do that really create memories. I'm really happy we were able to do that. And thanks for joining us, both of you guys, again as our co-hosts. And our guest today is not really a guest. He's friends and family of Victory Project. It's James Reese, as it goes by Coach. Coach is been with us for a couple of years. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Blessed to have this opportunity.
Well, thank you for coming, man. We look forward to hearing a little bit about your insights and your engagement at Victory Project and more about Victory Improvement Projects, because we haven't really talked much about that.
Absolutely.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to read a little bit of your bio, sir. So we have Coach retired in August of last year. He's been married for 29 years to his love of his life.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing, I tell folks, your 2 most important decisions in life is following Christ and marrying the right person.
Absolutely.
Isn't that true?
And I've got it.
You got it. I agree. I do too. And you have 2 adult sons and 3 grandchildren. And you've also been a former football and baseball coach for Dayton Christian.
Yes.
And you've been a baseball coach at Middletown High School.
Yes. Madison.
Yes. High School. And assisted in starting a Little League program in Trotwood. Currently, you are a site leader for VP and been here for 2 years.
And it's been 2 blessed years.
2 blessed years. Well, you've been a blessing to us for sure. Mike's always, I know Coach has got my back. He'll say that all the time.
Makes me feel good.
He does. He really does.
And I know he's got mine.
He does. He does.
From day one.
Yeah. We have a great team here, I'll tell you. From volunteer students, staff, and we have tip of the spear folks. Isn't that true? That's what we do. Yeah, we do. And it's all.
Nobody's bringing us down.
That's right, man. Always there for each other. So today's episode, folks, I wanted to kind of break down our core values. These, unlike a lot of the things we've been talking about for Victory Project foundational things, they're more youth focused, or this is more focused on us as staff, as folks. How do we conduct ourselves? How do we create the environment these young men want to be a part of? And helps us kind of stay focused on how we do those things. And so our 4 core values, an easy way to remember them is I always say UMOP, UMOP. And the U stands for undoing hopelessness with godly purpose, model work is the reward, offer love and accountability, and provide a safe and consistent environment. And so we're going to kind of break those down and see how what they look like in real life. And I'll start. I'm just open to the group. When it comes to undoing hopelessness with godly purpose, how does VP integrate spirituality into the mission of VP that really helps our young men find purpose? How do you guys see that happening?
For me, I'm going to quote some words from a friend, and he probably recognizes these words. A VP is a combination of social environment and personal faith. I think we do a great job of combining the two. And of course, being led by the Holy Spirit to reach out and work with God's plan regarding the youth. And I think that ministry describes VP to a T.
Yeah, that's good. What would you guys say? What would you think? How do we integrate that into our mission that actually brings it out in our kids' lives?
Actually, the mission statement itself, power youth to discover the light God intended by mastering self-awareness, self-sufficiency, and selfless service by tearing down the pillars of poverty. I feel like right there, when it says we're empowering youth to discover, we're not telling, hey, you got to go. We're building a place where they just want to. And honestly, I feel like that's our godly purpose right there. What Mr. Bear, he has it in his room. It's like, if it's not documented, then it never happened. To have that documented in our building means a lot. I had to remember that when I first came in, and that's a big part. So, yeah.
What comes to my mind is, in order to undo hopelessness, you have to bring hope. And there's so many things that come to mind at Victory Project. Like when alumni come back, I said, man, you guys just being here bring hope to these guys because you guys were in the same situation they were in and you guys succeeded. But also I think from the very start of them joining the program, how intentional we are to reward accomplishment. 2 weeks in, they take a test, their VP basics to become a member. And instantly after they pass that, they get a door code, face on the wall, can start being trained to work, all these things. And a lot of times they're not being rewarded when they do well. But let me tell you, they do wrong. That hammer is coming down. They're getting very emotionally yelled at or things like that. And that kind of brings hope when the first time you being rewarded for actually working hard. Yeah. Memorizing the basics is no easy task, right, Caden? How long did it take you to memorize the basics?
It was easy.
It can be difficult.
It is challenging.
So just rewarding that, and then several things come to mind of how we just intentionally focus on bringing hope to these guys.
Yeah, I think that's great. And not only what you said about being rewarded for doing something right, I think a lot of folks are incentivized to do things wrong. So when they do something crazy, self-destructive, they may not even get any negative. They may get like, hey, good job, or man, you're the man, or whatever kids say these days, right? They get incentivized. So as they're at Victory Project, they start to understand how God's designed them and the value they have. So,
I was going to say, I'm reminded of Ephesians 2:12, and it speaks about hopelessness being to a point living a godless life. And where we come in is that we have the tools, we have the ability to lift up those that are experiencing hopelessness, whether it be through encouragement, whether it be through a good deed, a good word. As Christians, we should model the image of Christ, and that is not to tear down, but build up, and give someone faith and believe that whatever the circumstance, that they can overcome it. And we've learned as Christians that we can do all things through Christ. And I see the world in the state that it's in, and it seemingly is hopeless. But we as Christians know that it isn't. Right. It is our mission to reach that which is lost and show that there is hope.
That's good.
I want to say this. The whole Victory Project is based off of, even, let's say Wednesday, for example. We go in, Bible study and worship. During worship, we sing our songs and we pray. The first thing they ask, is there anybody you want to pray about? Or if you do not know God, can you please let us know now? And you pray. That's one thing that's helping you feel open to talk about yourself. Everybody close their eyes, so your hand's going up. Nobody else knows your hand is going up. That's one thing you guys do. There's a whole bunch more.
Yeah,
but
it's a good one.
I know every day that I'm there's something going on. I think with like Bible study and educational development, but for most importantly, it's dealing with everyday life experiences. And I think we've got the right people in place. And I think with the guiding, the leading of the Holy Spirit, once again, that those things are being accomplished, or these kids wouldn't come back. And we've talked about this being the alternative to the streets.
Yeah.
And it is just, for me, a blessing to come in, and the feelings that God's in the place and God's involved in the place.
Yeah.
And I never forget you and your words, leaving room for God. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt.
I think one thing we do, Keyshawn, is I think you heard from a lot of our alumni is all the different things our kids are exposed to. Take the camping trip, for example. Like, how many guys do you think that went with you have been at an overnight camping trip?
We actually asked around the bonfire, like half of them never have been on
Yeah.
camp or anything like that.
Yeah, things like that just expose them to the world outside of 45406. That might be as far as they get. Or there is a big world out there and a lot of opportunities and a lot of things that you're just not exposed to. So just constantly bringing in people in the building, people from all walks of life, all career paths, having our own small business and going out and meeting customers. And I think that does do some undoing where it kind of lets you know that there's a lot of opportunities out here for you to explore how God's designed you.
So actually, I kind of want to share a story of how discovering godly purpose and responsibilities has kind of transformed my outlook on life.
Okay.
And just want to talk about that a little bit. So there's a bunch of things that I was doing before I was MVP, of course. Before I was MVP that I wasn't supposed to be doing, didn't know God at all. And I joined VP, found out it was a good program for God and knowing who God is and getting closer to God. I used to think that there was no good. There was nothing. But when I became a Christian, I went out there to people who thought there was no good, and I switched it up and I started saying, hey, there's a bunch of good in this life. You can look at the bad or you can look at the good. It's really about how you look at it.
Yeah.
And this just happened yesterday. There was a lady that had a whole bunch of stuff going on. She was crying. And me and my other peer, my brother, we was riding bikes and we seen her crying. We thought it was nothing. But then my brother turned around and he went over there and said, hey, are you okay? Is everything good? And then actually we started talking and I'm like, before we go any farther, I just want to pray. And she was like, she really was kind of confused. I'm like, pray, talk to God. So I invited her to our church. So hopefully she shows up.
That's great, Caden. Wow.
And I'll say that I don't know even Caden even realizes, but last weekend was our church's community day.
Uh-huh.
And a year before that was our very first community day where Caden and another one at his group home actually got saved. So it's been a year.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
the amount of growth I've seen from you in a year, right? You were that kind of quiet kid. I didn't know very much, but now you're the guy that signing up to help out before church events and help clean up and invite people to church without them asking. So we're proud of you and you're doing good
amazing.
work.
That's amazing.
I can say I do like setting up, but I do not like take it down.
Hey, that's honest, man. You're being honest. That's great, man. How can we encourage students to prioritize the value of hard work beyond merely making money?
Honestly, I think it's not just for the money. You're building a work ethic while you're at work anyways. Exactly. And just simple things that we do on a daily Saturday morning. Wake up, everybody's grumpy, but you make it out.
Yes, they are.
And honestly, simple things and I love how Mr. Bear works the whole Saturday morning routine. When we start our slides, he makes sure that everybody has a compliment. Like, hey, we did great last week, but there was an issue, but it was really good that we fixed it. Where it's something good and then something a little, you may not like, and then something good at the bottom.
Yeah.
And honestly, that kind of brings up everybody's spirit and you're ready for a work shift. But there's some people that, they're still not ready. So you have to kind of just let them know, hey, you're going to have to go through harder things than working one day out of the week. When we go into work, you get the day done with, but then you see that money and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go again.
Yeah.
I'm going to go again.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
And then you got to think about it. When you're older, you're going to have a spouse or you're going to need to know how to work to provide for your family, work to gain a work ethic, because you can get some good jobs out there if you know what you're doing.
I wanted to actually ask you, Coach, can you share, what does a Saturday look like for somebody who does not know anything about VIP?
I would call it organized chaos. And Mike Bear can back that up.
Yeah.
We start off the day with a plan, and normally we have to be in a position to adapt to change. We know and expect that everyone will show up to work. That's not always the case, and we have to be able to make changes on the fly, so to speak. Our kids are first and foremost supplied what they need to accomplish that day. So from a football term, it's let's set them up for success. We provide the safety and the uniforms for them to go out in all types of weather. We provide the equipment and hopefully the training and knowledge to do the job that's required. We require that you be on time, just like a normal job. Be prepared. For me, it's all about attitude and effort. I'm not going to go out, and I think any employer would go out with someone that's doing a job half, and we separate them into groups, and we go out and truthfully, we go out and accomplish what we set out to do. What I've learned through it all, and I'm speaking personally, I get such a joy no matter what we've gone through that morning, that at the end of the day, it was great to be there. And that's every Saturday. And I've watched God step in miraculously in situations out there. And I've said it time and time again. And I know Keyshawn feels the same way. And I think we all experience that same joy after work Saturday, that we wouldn't want to be any other place. And that in itself means the world to me. It's more than any dollar or dollar amounts you could ever give me. I've said it to you. I do this for free, and I mean that.
Well, it shows your passion and your commitment shines through, and that goes back to like testimony of modeling the behavior. Work it's hard, but there's a joy you can't quite describe when you have accomplished something, even like cutting grass or mulch or whatever the job may be. There is definitely a joy in that, and it's deeper than any kind of financial reward.
Yeah, and model work is very biblical. So when we talk to the young men that do believe, point to scripture, but the guys that necessarily really for both the believer and the non-believer, the young men, you guys are the example. We joke about it on Saturdays a little bit that I won't say their exact age, but most of the VIP Saturday workers are above the age of 40. And these guys are standing up, pitching mulch, working hard for that entire 8 to 10 hour day. And we look at a 14-year-old guy and we point to you guys, man, look at this 40 plus retired guy still out there.
Just say it.
Retired guy out there that's still working hard. You can absolutely do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we've gone through undo hopelessness with godly purpose. Model work is the reward. As we look at our third core value, which is offer love and accountability. This is one that we use it constantly because I think a lot of people with good intentions will avoid accountability, thinking that is not love when we hold people accountable because it's hard. But done the right way and done from a pure heart, accountability is a love language. Describe a scenario where accountability played a crucial role in a member's development. This may be more for Coach or Keyshawn, or maybe Caden, you might know of an example.
Yeah, I mean, what instantly comes to mind is we kind of, again, that intentionality part of it. We have certain steps we do when a young man isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. First, well, not the first, but one of the big ones is called a supplemental, where if a young man basically isn't meeting their contract that they signed when they first started, they get put on a supplemental where it might be a month long and they maybe can't play basketball for that month or video games for that month. And it's honestly kind of like a test. Are you going to pass and get a stick and get back to your video games and your basketball? Or some guys fail. And it's really holding them guys accountable. Like you signed on this dotted line and be part of Victory Project. Hold up your end of the bargain and you either do or you don't. But also what comes to mind is the never forever clause, which is something that I honestly love that we do. Most organizations, you get kicked out forever. But never forever a guy, we do a release letter for the guy when, say, they have to leave for a certain reason, and they can come back after a certain amount of time, sometimes maybe an apology or something extra depending on why they left. But there's not one guy where like, man, I never want to see this guy again. Even if they left on bad terms, yelling at staff members, disrespecting staff members, if they uphold that, we'd let them come back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of powerful. We're holding these guys accountable, but also we love every single guy that's come through that door.
I like that we're able to explain the reasoning and the consequences for not doing what we've instructed you to do, the unacceptable behavior. And we do that at VIP on a Saturday. In the real world, when you don't work, the Bible says you don't eat, but
right.
The real world, you don't work, you don't work. And we've hold hold them, and we've noticed that they hold each other accountable on a Saturday. One of the things that we're striving for is accountability for your actions for not putting your uniform away properly on a Saturday. And that consequence not only affects the individual, it affects the team overall.
Yeah.
And we've watched them. We went from having an abundance of uniform problems to barely having any now because that teammate is holding you for accountable. And I'm going to brag on Caden right now. And I've watched him stand at the washer and make sure that you turn in your uniform correctly.
Yeah.
So we
They don't-
see that, and we've
they
seen
don't-
a change.
They don't put it in the washer. They give it to me because I do not want to.
Man, that's great examples right there. It also goes back to the empowerment piece. You get a vote in these decisions. You get a vote in how you decide. We often say it, your attitude, effort, and consistency. You can have a hard day, but you have a responsibility to respond to it in a positive way. So those are great. Thank you, guys. Those are great examples.
And our fourth core value is provide a safe and consistent environment. Just thinking through all of them, what are some of the things maybe at Victory Project and at VIP on Saturdays that are always consistent that help the environment?
I think our purpose is to shine our light when we're in the community. That's watching our behavior, the words we speak and the actions that we take. And there's a consequence. If Caden has found out, we put you in the van, which means you're off the clock. That's never happened to you, right, Caden?
Never.
Never.
In the real world, there's a stiffer consequence, but it's out of love, and it might be described as tough love.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. When we're out there with the crew, everyone has a responsibility and a job for us to accomplish what we're set out to do. But Monnie, I go to us being that city that sits on the hill. I think it's great they were all wearing yellow so we can be seen, and people are watching us. I know that I've been stopped numerous of times to question what we're doing out here, and it's an opportunity to share our goal, our purpose, our faith. From children to grown adults actually are asking me these questions, and it's just an opportunity for me to share what we're all about. And we're representing Christ in all we say and do, not only on Saturdays, but every day of our life. I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
Is the word. Thankful that I get that opportunity.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Actually, one thing that I feel is very consistent is the schedule that we have every single week. That kind of just helps us to know that we're in a secure place that, kind of stays the same, but there's things that are different every single day.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna add to it. I think consistency is very important because the only consistent feature in much of our students' lives is inconsistency. That's the consistent feature. So food is consistently inconsistent. Housing is consistently inconsistent. Family members, consistently inconsistent. So when you introduce consistency, there may be an initial rejection of that because number one, it's new and different and scary. But when they start to realize, okay, there will be food every night at Victory Project, there will be opportunity to do these things and hang out with my friends in a safe environment, that becomes the new normal, where the other way around, it was the inconsistency was normal. So it really, the foundation for growing as a young person, they have this support system.
I mean, part of that consistency is that it starts with us, and we are the role model. And so I can't expect them to do something that I'm not doing. That's vital, probably in all walks of life. But people are watching us.
Great. I'm going to ask you guys as we're closing up here. UMOP, right? Undo hope is the godly purpose. Auto work is the reward. Offer love and accountability and provide a safe and consistent environment. What's quickly, Keyshawn, one thing you think you want folks to remember from the podcast?
So many good pieces that we talked about. Probably the part about model work being the reward, not just showing up to work, but actually going on the clock, working your tail end off, and just glorifying God while you're doing it. That's the true reward, especially for young men and men.
Yeah, I think it's good. Kate, what's your takeaway?
Well, Keyshawn took mine, so
oh wow,
make a new one.
That's a literal takeaway.
So I would say intentionality to help young men and students find godly purpose.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Fun.
Love those. Coach, what's your parting thought?
Piggybacking on what Keyshawn said, modeling work. Basically, it's for us, it's going out, getting a paycheck. It's getting promoted. It's getting a good grade. Those are the things that are modeling work. The reward for working, it should be fulfillment, feeling that I've made a difference. It's something that I can take to help someone else. And it's not about the paycheck.
Yeah.
And that's the reward.
Yeah.
Changing a life just through a kind word, a kind deed. That's the fulfillment. And I think that's what we feel here is the fulfillment of, for me, just being able to speak into a young man's life. And I say it over and over. These guys on Saturday, they just make my day.
Yeah, I agree. It's awesome. Well, as we close here, I'm gonna make a shout out. If you're interested in joining VIP, our volunteer, we're looking for some folks to join these guys on Saturday to help take these guys out on job sites and help them learn about work ethic and find joy in serving each other in the community. Reach out through our website, victoryproject.org. We'd love to give you a tour of the facility. You can meet Coach and Mike and some of the other team members. But we definitely would like you to reach out and be a part of that. So, Keyshawn, thanks for being here and your insights.
Of course.
Caden, always great ideas and thoughts.
Yep, as always.
Coach, man, your blessing. Thank you for being on here today with us and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Until next week, guys, God bless.
Thanks for listening to the Victory Project podcast. If you believe in changing lives through faith, discipline, and opportunity, then you're in the right place. Keep showing up. Keep being the light. Until next time, remember, victory isn't just a destination. It's a way of life. Learn more at victoryproject.org.